Today I'm having something quite familiar to Western people, KFC. But I thought I would show some of the things that KFC has that are different in China. Because the KFC menu varies by location around the world. Some of the stuff's the same. Some of it is quite different. Some of it's slightly different. Get all my stuff out. So, go through let's see. This is just fried chicken. That's original recipe fried chicken. That's the same as in America. I think all KFCs have everywhere in the world, as far as I know, has original recipe just for plain fried chicken. In Chinese, it's actually called original flavor. Like the Chinese is yuanwer, which means yuan means original and wer means flavor. So it's just yuanwer ji. Ji is chicken. So that's a ikwar. Ikwar means one piece. Ikwar yuanwer ji. That's actually one of the funny things is that that's not particularly popular at KFC here. They have it, but like some people order it, but it's not the most popular thing. There's lots of other stuff that's more popular. But I think all of the other things I've ordered are things you can't get in America. So first thing is, well, you can get it in America, but not at KFC. French fries. In China, these are called shu tiao, potato strips. Shu is potato and tiao is strips. Shu tiao. These are, I believe, I don't know, but if you remember back maybe 10 years ago, Taco Bell had French fries, and their French fries were crinkle cut. And I'm pretty sure these are exactly the same French fries as Taco Bell had 10 years ago. I think because KFC and Taco Bell are the same company, I think they just exported them to KFC and were like, yeah, in China, these are just going to be the KFC fries. So I got those French fries. Comes with its own KFC Ketchup. And that's, I mean, ketchup is basically the same anywhere. The KFC ketchup here is a little runnier. It's not quite the same as like Heinz ketchup. A lot of people get the branded like Heinz ketchup, like at McDonald's. I think or McDonald's might have their own ketchup, but just plain, French fries with ketchup. It's not something that's a specifically Chinese thing, but it's fairly unusual that they've got it at KFC. And that's a very Chinese thing. KFC is pretty famous for their fries here. Actually, I would say the KFC fries, as far as fast food, like Western style fast food restaurants in China goes, the KFC fries are probably the best French fries. McDonald's, basically, they've got three major Western franchises here: KFC, McDonald's, and Burger King. The McDonald's fries are basically the same as the McDonald's fries in America. The Burger King ones are supposed to be, but they don't usually train their staff very well, so they often forget to put the seasoning on it. So you just get plain fries with no seasoning, no salt and seasoning on it, which ends up not being very good. Or often they'll like undercook them or overcook them. The Burger Kings here aren't run as well as McDonald's and KFC. But then KFC has these, and they're always really well done. They're crispy on the outside, fluffy on the inside. They taste good. Perfect amount of seasoning. So they're very consistent. Good French fries. Now for a drink, I'm just having some juice. It's kind of like a fruit punch kind of thing. I think it's basically orange and passion fruit. I don't think they specifically say what kind of fruit it is. It's just called fruit drink, I think. It might. It's called Nine Treasures Fruit Juice. So I don't know what that means. I guess maybe it's got 9 kinds of fruit in it. So I got that. I got that fruit juice. Another thing that is very common in America, but unusual for a KFC to have is KFCs in China have, pull this up, beef burgers, like a hamburger. This is they do like a bacon cheeseburger. It's got comes with like bacon and cheese and some lettuce and like a relish kind of thing. It's pretty good burgers. I would say the KFC burger more so than the McDonald's or Burger King. McDonald's and Burger King's burgers basically taste the same as the American version. That's pretty consistent across international kind of things. The KFC burger tastes a bit more like a homemade burger, like a burger you would just cook at home. I wouldn't say, like, Burger King, both Burger King and McDonald's have very distinctive flavors to their burger that are not the same as like just a plain hamburger you could just make yourself, but are very iconic flavors. This KFC one doesn't really have an iconic flavor. It just kind of tastes like a generic cheap hamburger. It's not great, but it's not, particularly bad either. Like, it's just kind of so. Tastes like a hamburger. If I'm kind of craving just like a burger, I could just like cook at home at from in America, like on a grill or whatever. Like, this is a decent option, like to have that kind of flavor. The Chinese word for hamburger is a little funny story there. Hamburgers in China are called hambao, which is just a sound translation. But because KFC came to China first, and their main thing is a chicken sandwich, fried chicken sandwich, that is what Chinese people associated with that word. They knew the word hamburger, and then they knew that fast food restaurants sell hamburgers. And so, if you ask most Chinese people what a hambao is, their word for hamburger, they would point to, if you gave them a bunch of options of pictures of stuff, they would point to the fried chicken sandwich. So in Chinese, that's what a hamburger is. It's more associated, the word is more associated with what kind of bun it's on. So like, you call something a hamburger or a hambao specifically because it's on a round hamburger bun. And it's less about what's inside. It's more about what the bread it's on is. So that's kind of the Chinese take on the word hamburger. typically, if you specifically want a beef hamburger, you'll need to say that in Chinese. You wouldn't call it a hamburger. You'll usually call it a beef burger. So hambao is hamburger, and you'll say neuro, cow meat, beef, neuro hambao, to identify that you want like a actual hamburger as opposed to a fried chicken sandwich. And they're like, real hamburgers are quite popular here. There's quite a few restaurants that do American style hamburgers. It's just that the first thing they had called by that word, hambao, was a chicken sandwich. So that's kind of what's identified as that thing. And then like you have to specialize, like, oh, I want a beef hamburger to identify the difference. So, fried chicken here, Ji is chicken, and Ja is fried. So you say Ja Ji. Most fried chicken, at least in this part of China, is Korean style. So I would say 9 out of 10 fried chicken restaurants are Korean style fried chicken. So getting the original flavor, original recipe, KFC is quite a little different. It's very, I mean, KFC's original recipe is different than any fried chicken in America too. It's like its own thing. But this is basically identical to what you would get in America. So it's very nostalgic for me. It's like a taste of home. But that being said, the Chinese do not butcher chickens in the same way that Americans do. So all of the cuts are slightly weird. For example, this is a breast, but it's a really weird cut where it's not the breast cut that you would have gotten in America. It's cut differently. And pretty much all the cuts will be different. The wing is not quite the same. The breast is not quite the same. The thigh is not the same. The only one that's basically the same is the drumstick. That one, I mean, it's hard to change the way you cut a drumstick. It's just a drumstick. And the last thing I got is a little dessert item called a danta. So this is, dan means egg. Ta, I believe that ta is just a loan word translation of tart. So this is just a little egg tart. It's basically just a unflavored sweet custard tart. I think these came into China through Hong Kong. I don't actually know. They might be a traditional thing, but I'm fairly certain they originated from like Western influence from Hong Kong and Macau. But you can see it's just basic egg custard on a like a buttery pastry, like a basically puff pastry kind of crust. It's a very popular kind of little dessert treat, little sweet treat you can get. They sell them at KFC. They sell them at a whole bunch of different places too. They're all over the place. They're very, very popular here. I'm not a huge fan. Like, some people will buy like 10 of them and eat them. I like them okay, but it's not something I regularly order. I'll get one maybe every once in a while. And they're not bad. They taste good, but it's just it's basically just sweetened, unflavored custard in a pastry shell. So if that's something you like, then you can kind of think about that and be like, oh, well, do I like those things? Then I'd like it. If I don't, I won't. So these are just some of the differences. It's an American restaurant that serves a lot of this. There's a lot of the same things you can get, like a lot of things that are on the menu. I didn't get a lot of the standard like Western stuff that they have at KFC. A lot of the stuff is the same. I went with a bunch of the stuff that's more unusual and specific to Chinese KFC today, just sort of to showcase what's different. But like, they still have things like mashed potatoes and corn, chicken sandwiches. KFC is quite famous in China for their ice cream. They're pretty popular for their ice cream. I was gonna get some of that. Right now, they usually do. They have like plain vanilla ice cream, which they don't use the word vanilla in China usually, so it's usually just called plain ice cream. And then they'll usually have a rotating other flavor that will come, they'll have for a month or two, and then it'll rotate out to something different. Right now, they have Belgian chocolate that's really good. They usually do it every January, every December and January, around New Year's. They'll have the Belgian chocolate, but the shop I ordered from was out of ice cream at the moment, so I couldn't get any. So that's actually why I got this danta, this egg tart, because I couldn't get any ice cream. What I wanted to get was some chocolate ice cream. But, you make do with what you got. I think I've exhausted the things for me to say at this point, so I'll end the video there.